What's going on, guys? Rich Schnyderite back again with another TKR Power Hour. I'm joined by a TKR beat writer, Chris Nalwasky. Chris, how's it going?
What's going on, Richie? How's it going, man? Good.
Yeah, I mean, interesting game this weekend. A lot of trickery, 49-27, most points Rutgers has ever scored against Ohio State, I believe. So just give me your thoughts on that game real quick.
Yeah, I mean, we all kind of figured that Rutgers would kind of use some trickery and kind of do anything it could to move the ball and score points. I the first half, Shiana alluded to, the team made a lot of mistakes and Ohio State was just really unbeatable in the first half. I thought Rutgers missed some chances to get a touchdown there, and they got a field goal. They were down at the 1 yard line, but the second half they really played well. They scored on special teams. They were able to they kind of use a couple quarterbacks there on offense, and they scored. They did a lot better, I should say. And Ohio State is probably the best team in the country, so
Yeah.
it's good to see that.
So I guess first off, let's start talking about quarterbacks a little bit. I know Art Sikowski looked pretty solid in that drive. It's hard to judge him though. I think I told you this too. They were playing off coverage, prevent coverage, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Off zone, whatever. Anyway, there's different names for it, different terms. He didn't look bad. He looked pretty accurate. He moved a little bit actually too. He had a nice little run play for a first down. Then he ends up doing what Sikowski ends up doing. He ends up turning the ball over. Red zone, I think it was like on the 10 or 12, somewhere around there.
It was unfortunate for him. Yeah.
But we talked to Shiano after the game, and he kind of just said it's still Vedral's job. My question to you is, should it be Vedral's job? I know I have my opinion. Everyone else has theirs. But what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think so. Like Shiano said, Noah won the job, and it's he's played well. He won the first game, and he doesn't have the strongest arm in the world, but he gets the offense. It's interesting to see if Art was running against the ones or playing against Ohio State's main scheme defense, like you said. No, I think Noah still deserves a shot. Yeah. So what about you?
Yeah. All right. I mean, it's Noah's job. I think Noah's still the better quarterback of the two. I still think Sikowski has obvious issues when it comes to decision making, and we didn't really get to see that because they didn't really put a big pass rush on him. I know they played a couple freshmen on the defensive line when he was in, a couple backup corners, backup. It was the entire backup off or defense for the Buckeyes. Yeah. So it's hard to judge based off of that. You know what? He did look accurate. He's got the big arm still. He's always had it. That's never been in question. It's a matter of the decision making when there's pressure.
Yep.
Offensive line looks better this year, yes, but is it enough to give Sikowski time? No. So I'm going to stick with Vedral. Mm-hmm. Heck, I mean, I like the Johnny Langan packages too, and keep going with that. He threw the ball for a change, so it's not the entire Jabu Lovelace package that we saw in the past. But
he threw a touchdown.
Yeah, it was a nice little pass and nice catch too by Giovanni Haskins.
Yeah, he went up. He went up and got it.
Yeah, it's nice to see him getting involved a little bit.
Yeah. And the one thing about Art too, like you say, he got out and ran. And he also got out of the pocket and threw the ball away too, which is good to see.
Yeah, I saw him roll out a couple times, which was nice. So we'll see what happens. If Vedral keeps struggling, could you see Sikowski? Yeah, it's very possible. Would I like to see Johnny Langan running this offense? 110%. Yes, I think he's fun to watch. So, and end of the day, you want to cause as much mayhem for the defense as possible. I think Langan's the better option, but who knows? We'll see what happens this week against Illinois. So, starting talking about Illinois, they're a bad football team. I know they've had a bunch of people on the COVID list missing 21 days or whatever it is in the Big Ten. I know they get a couple back this week. I don't know who exactly.
Yeah.
I think Brandon Peters is back.
I'm not sure. I know they should be getting some guys back.
Yeah, I know they'll be getting some guys back. I'm not 100% who it is or whatever, but I'll have to double check on that. Definitely. Either way, they're going to be near full strength, if not at full strength. So they're going to have a solid team. They're still 0-3. They're still averaging 15 points per game. This looks like the Rutgers of the past two seasons. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on this Illinois team? I don't know how much research you've done so far.
Yeah, I know Minnesota ran for a lot against them this weekend. Obviously, Rutgers' strengths, is the run game. Through a three-headed attack. I believe Pacheco didn't did not play last year against Illinois, or last time they played.
Yeah.
But they still have Kevin Adams, Aaron Young also. Pacheco had an off game against Ohio State, but a lot of people probably have off games against Ohio State. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if, like you said before, if the old line could get some push and get the ground game going. So that's the extent of Illinois that I know so far.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the run game, because this Rutgers running game this year, despite supposedly being a strength, it's just been struggle city nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
Even like this past weekend, if it wasn't for that one big Pacheco run on that little like fake high snap type thing,
I forgot about that, yeah.
If it wasn't for that, I think that was a 66-yard run. Other than that, Pacheco had 6 carries for 2 yards. K'Ron Adams had 4 carries for 6 yards. Aaron Young, 3 carries for 7 yards. These are not good numbers. I know it's a very, very, very talented Ohio State defense, but this is like the 3rd week in a row where I don't think anyone's eclipsed 100 yards rushing. So it's like, you got to do something to jumpstart it. So hopefully, like you said, that Illinois rushing defense is, I'm going to put it in layman's terms, it's garbage. It is bad.
They got beat up, so we'll see.
So ideally, Rutgers gets the ground game going, dominates that. I don't think Illinois' pass defense is that good either. Not that Rutgers' passing offense is great, but you got guys like Bo Melton, who's been pretty impressive so far. He's led the team in receiving yards the first 3 games, and then you got Cruikshank, who's a speedy guy who's been getting open. Receiving game is not the problem. It looks more or less. I guess sometimes the receiving game is a problem because some of these guys aren't getting open quick enough, but it's more or less it seems to fall on the quarterback as they can't really throw a deep ball.
Virgil's kind of been inaccurate at times. It is, but when Art came in, again, different kind of pressure, different kind of coverages, but he had like so much more zip on the ball, so much But like I said, Bo Melton, he's been really impressive. He's been really impressive after the catch too. He's been really tough. Getting yards. So maybe get the tight ends more involved too in the passing game. We'll see.
I'm glad you mentioned the yak of Bo, kind of just for the sole fact that, like, why is this guy not kick returning in his first 3 seasons? You always have that explosive receiver. Look at Deshaun Jackson. I know he's not Deshaun Jackson, obviously, but look at Deshaun Jackson or anyone else that's like a good receiver, that heck of a kick returner. Why was he not kick returning under Ash?
I know we've seen him. I remember seeing him like in practice doing it.
Yeah.
But, maybe they don't want to give him hurt. So
I know, but it's tough when you're that good at returning the ball and just breaking tackles, and like you said, the yards after the catch. It's hard not to put him back there. Yeah. But other than that, let's see what else we got. We got Mike Epstein, the running back for Illinois, is pretty good. Rutgers fans probably remember him as he was one of the top targets under Chris Ash in that 2019 class, whatever it was. 2017 maybe even. I completely forget what class.
Maybe a junior, I think.
Yeah, heck of a running back. I think he has 400 yards if I'm looking at this right. 300 and something around there. So, like you said, that rushing defense should stop them, no problem. I don't see this being a very competitive game. I don't know about you, but I think Rutgers not manhandles them, but they should beat them handedly. Put it like that.
Yeah, I think Rutgers will be aggressive. On defense, I think we'll see some wacky plays on offense again, possibly.
Of course.
You can never count out Lovie Smith. He's a really good defensive coach, and they're gonna get more guys back. So
yeah. I brought it up to Schiano during a press conference. I find it kind of interesting that he was Schiano was his predecessor down at Tampa. I mean, neither of them could get it going. I don't think. Look like this. It took Tom Brady and Bruce Arians in order to just turn that franchise around. Other than that, it's been a pretty rough franchise. I mean, it's an intriguing one to watch. Again, going back to Illinois, I don't think this team is that good. 106 passing yards against Minnesota. But going back to Epstein again, actually, he had 11 carries this week for 108 yards. So he is dangerous. He's a big play threat. He had that 160-plus yarder, whatever it was, that I think he took for a touchdown. They're not a bad team when they're fully healthy. So
exactly,
it'll be interesting to see.
Well, in recent years.
Yeah, I mean that helps with the NFL pedigree that Lovie has. I think did he win a Super Bowl? I'm not sure.
I believe, yeah.
Yeah, with the Bears, I believe. Yeah. One with the Bears, and I think he was NFL head coach of the year one of those years. I'm not sure which one, but yeah, I know that. Yeah. So, I mean, what else we got to talk about? This
Yeah, I mean,
offense.
the run defense for Rutgers honestly has been a big improvement. They've been in the
Yeah.
backfield a lot. So if they could do that, the secondary, secondary for Rutgers is it's thin, but
Mhm.
the corners have done a really really good job. So
Yeah. No, it's been interesting. I actually like Malachi Melton a lot. I know him and Brendan White kind of got burnt on like one of those first drives. It
mhm.
might have even been the first
I
drive
think it
against
was
Ohio State.
miscommunication. I think it was miscommunication because it looked like Mellon
Yeah.
kind of like stopped and went to like a zone.
To be fair, it's very tough to go against two potential.
Right.
Well, one's probably a first rounder, I would think. The other one's probably
Mhm.
at second, third. Like they're those two wide receivers, Chris Olave and I can't forget the other kid's
Oh,
name.
Wilson.
Wilson, yes. They're both very, very good. They're very talented. They'll be in NFL next year, or if
Yeah.
not the year after, whatever.
Yeah. And Justin
Um,
Fields been the Giants.
hopefully. Speaking of Giants, Ohio State, Austin Mack looks pretty good this week.
Yeah, oh yeah, he scored.
Not to get a little off topic, but he looked.
No, he almost scored. He got down to one.
Nah, yeah, he had I want to say 70, 80 yards, something like that.
Mhm.
He didn't look too bad, but we kind of knew he was good from last year and the years prior, I should say.
Mhm.
What else? Illinois, Rutgers, Noah Vedral.
Rutgers is favored.
That's for the first time in
2014 against Indiana.
Jeez, that's bad.
In the Big Ten game, I should say.
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. It just goes to show how much the program has evolved in 4 games, which is incredible.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as you step foot on campus.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I know this Illinois team's not good. Don't get me wrong, but the fact that they were able to be a favorite in a Big Ten game, it's pretty. And they have last year 5-6 wins, Illinois.
Yeah, I believe they went to a bowl game. So
yeah, so they're solid. They're not a bad team at all. It's just the fact that Rutgers is favored is shocking. The culture change in a matter of, I guess it's almost been a year now since we're in November already.
Yeah.
Just
wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's almost been a year. Wow.
Yeah, from the minute she almost stepped on campus, it's been a heck of a culture change. The university's bought in, the players have bought in. If you didn't buy in, you're clearly not in the team anymore. Yeah, it's incredibly impressive to see what Greg Schiano has done so far. Not just recruiting, but team wise, and they won a game. They won a Big Ten game.
Yeah. Yep.
So and they might win 2. They win 2 this year. That's an incredible. I don't even care what the rest of the schedule looks like.
I think they'll get 3 still.
I think it's very possible. Tua's brother is going to be tough to stop down at Maryland.
Maryland. It's kind of. I think I had to look, but I think I pegged Rutgers as a win against Maryland, but I don't know.
Yeah, I had 2 on the season. I know that. I know I had Michigan State, and I think I had Maryland. Oh, no, I take it back. I had Illinois. But I mean, Maryland's up and down. Penn State's in the gutter right now. If you can catch them while they're down there, it's better. Is this the year?
I had Rutgers playing Northwestern in that extra game.
Oh yeah,
they're 3-0 right now.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll have to see if we even get to that point because look at Wisconsin, Illinois. I know they didn't cancel a game technically, but their cases were up. The only bright spot is that it seems like Rutgers had that surge and they kind of put everything on lockdown with the team. So it looks like. I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it. I think the knock on wood was very obvious.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, Shannon, says something to him every day, so.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean.
And like you said, going back to the culture thing, I did 2 radio interviews with Ohio State, in Ohio State country last week. The one guy, I meant to post him on the board, but the one guy sent me the wrong link and then he never got back to me.
It's all good.
But the whole, they asked me, what's different. And both times I mentioned the culture and, everything like that, swarming to the ball, playing tough, stuff like that.
Just the not giving up part. The fact that I know it's very, I don't even know how to say what the term is for this, but it's so cliche, I guess. They kept chopping. Like, yeah. But they in reality, they really don't give up ever.
Everything's keep chopping with them. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they in reality, they don't give up though. It's just the nonstop fight out of this team, which is incredibly impressive. Again, the culture change in less than a year is just insane. You don't see this at programs. Usually it takes a year to get guys to buy in, so on. But it seems like all the Chris Ash guys, all of his new guys, all the transfers, et cetera, all bought into this program, all bought into what he's selling. And even recruits are buying in now. You see recruits getting hyped up about this win, and then about just being competitive against some of the top teams in the country. So
Yeah, that's huge.
yeah. So the one question I found on the board that I thought was pretty interesting. Do you consider this game a measuring stick game?
I think it's a game that if Rutgers wants to, move up in the Big Ten, that they'll have to beat teams like Illinois. So I would say yeah, I would say yeah. Maybe this year specifically, maybe it's not a measuring stick,
Yeah.
but if Rutgers wants to move up in the Big Ten, I know they're different, sides of the conference, but they had to beat teams of the caliber of Illinois and stuff like that. So
Illinois, Maryland.
right,
You
those
probably even throw
kind of teams.
Purdue in that. You could throw Purdue in there too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, it's an interesting season for sure. I don't think anyone expected what's happening right now. But let's talk a little hoops.
Yeah.
Hoops just got ranked top 25, number 24 in the country. A little low. I know some are gonna complain about it. I already seen it on the boards.
People are ready to complain. I don't think it's too low. I think it's all right.
Nah, I think it's pretty accurate. People are still going to sleep on Rutgers. They're going to say, a lot of the pollsters are going to say, hey, they just lost their best 3-point shooter, Quasi Yaboa. They just lost the guy who was going to replace him in Caleb McConnell. So you lose those two right away. And then on top of that, people aren't going to respect Rutgers still because they're just going to say that one season was a fluke.
Right.
We know this already. Is it a fluke? I don't think so because they're still
so.
returning 80% of their scoring. And it's not like there's one guy that's averaging 20 and the rest are averaging 10, 11, 9,
Right.
whatever. They're all pretty evenly distributed. Almost every stat is pretty evenly distributed.
Right. It's very balanced.
It's a very, very balanced team. They look good. Do I think they remain in the top 25 all year? I think it'll go up and down. It'll be tough. I think with the out of conference schedule the way it is, it's not the best in the world. I think I hate to say this. Rutgers needs Seton Hall more than Seton Hall needs Rutgers right now.
Yeah.
They need to add them to that schedule just to make it a little bit tougher. Right now, I think the toughest game is clearly Syracuse. After that, I don't even know who is it. Sacred Heart to start. Fairleigh Dickinson, Ryder. It's just it's not good at all.
Yeah, but it's all local teams. So
of course
that's what everyone's going for right now. So.
Yeah, I know, but
it's definitely good that they're ranked. I wrote this morning, first time they're ranked since 78, 79 to begin the year. That's huge, But at the same time, 7 teams in the Big Ten are ranked, so it's the best league, hardest league in the country. Nothing's gonna come easy.
I know it's tough. That's gonna help them a lot. I just still think you need that one more team. If you're not gonna schedule a Seton Hall, maybe look to another local team. Look at I don't know, the UConns of the world, the who else is down here? Georgetown.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe even Pittsburgh. You kind of want to make everything drivable. That's what I think the goal is right now.
Right.
You want to stay as far away from airports as possible. I think UConn's the drivable one. I think that's very possible. I think Georgetown's drivable. I just don't know. Other than that, I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that works because they obviously canceled the GAVA games between the Big East and the Big Ten. But if you're going to schedule Seton Hall, that would be Big East, Big Ten technically.
Right. I think last I heard, they're still trying. So.
Yeah, Providence that's another one. There's a lot of local teams that I think you can get to fill that maybe 2
Boston
slots.
College. Well, they're already playing Syracuse, so I don't know, but
yeah, so I don't know if Boston College would do it, but it depends on what they have filled up to. I don't know what these schools have schedule wise. I know Seton Hall has 7 or 8 out of conference games already, so I don't know what's the measuring stick. Is there a certain amount of out of conference games this year? Do we know?
Right.
No, we have no idea.
I asked Rutgers official this morning, and there's no update on the Big Ten schedule side of things.
Yeah, I know. I think Rothstein tweeted it yesterday, day before. He said it's going to come out sometime this week. I don't know if he said early or late. I forget what it said, the exact tweet, but we should get it soon.
We have Rutgers Hoops availability later this week, so maybe they'll coincide with that.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm trying to think if it's going to be a fun year. I really think it's going to be a fun year. I don't know what you do so I'm going to put this out there. We're going to post it tomorrow. I have 3 questions about Rutgers basketball. I don't want to talk too much about it without the article being out, but what do you do for that 3 spot? You have the obvious two starters already in Gio and Montez.
Gio Montez. And
You have the obvious two.
Harper.
You have the obvious two in Harper and Johnson. What do? There's a ton of things you could do. You already know this.
Yeah.
You can move Harper down. You could keep Harper and put a big four in there, or like a stretch four type, and maybe like an Oscar Pomquist, or like even Mawat Mag probably. He's like 6'6".
It would be a freshman. Somebody had to be freshman.
Or he could get a little freaky and do like the Twin Tower type setup and have Mamadou or Cliff, or I mean, still a freshman obviously in Cliff, but Mamadou's what, senior, junior?
Mamadou, I think he's technically sophomore.
Whatever he is.
Sophomore. I don't know, because he didn't he redshirted, so he might be.
Yeah, I forget what his exact eligibility is. Plus, this year doesn't even count, so it doesn't really matter. But I mean, you could do the Twin Tower thing, or you could just keep Ron at the four as he's been, and kind of play that smaller lineup, and maybe put another guard.
It depends on the opponent too, but maybe like a Montez or something, play the three and have like Jacob Young in there too.
Yeah.
So
what do you
Baker at the two and have Paul or Jacob at point?
Yeah, I know you said it probably depends on the opponent, but what do you prefer better? You like the 3 guard lineup, or you like the kind of taller?
I'm a traditionalist. I'm old school, so I'll go more bigs.
I gotcha. See, I like the new stuff. I like that there's no position anymore. I like the fact that Gio could play 1, 2, 3. Cliff could play 4, 5. Harper can actually dribble, so he could probably play 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So I mean, you can mess around and play these guys a ton of different ways. I think Mawat Mag's an intriguing one because he kind of has that guard type skill set, but at the same time, he's got the length of like a 3, 4, maybe. No, maybe not 4, maybe 3. I think you could play him 2, 3, and if you're even going to play small ball, you can play him at the 4. Oscar's another one, could probably play 3, 4. That's the cool part about these guys, is that they're so interchangeable, even without McConnell, without Aquasi.
McConnell's huge because he could play point guard.
I know, yeah. McConnell can literally go 1 through 3. Maybe I think we even saw him at the 4 at times last year for small stints, but that was due to lack of bigs probably. This year, there's no lack. There's Cliff, there's Miles. There's Mamadou. There's I even forgot about Dean Reiber, who could play.
I'm not sure exactly how he'll fit in the rotation and stuff, but he's also
there. I mean, originally I had him pegged as a guy who's gonna redshirt, but now with the year not counting, why not just see what he could do? If he could stretch the floor a little bit as that like 4, as a tall, lengthy 4, why not put him out there next to Miles? I mean, if he could really shoot that well, we don't know for a fact. Obviously, we haven't seen practice.
We haven't seen practice, right?
But if he could do that, stretch the floor a little bit, because Miles, we know Miles' game. It's interior. There's not much to it. I don't know if he can shoot really beyond the. I don't even know if I want to say paint, beyond the half circle / block.
The same with Cliff too.
Yeah, so. Cliff is probably in that same type of thing. I've seen Cliff 6 times last year in high school, 7.
I saw him once as a junior.
He can hit threes occasionally. It's not like crazy to see it. Will we see it? Probably not. Same thing went with Shaq Carter last year. I've seen Shaq Carter hit a ton of threes, but when it comes to the game, it's like, no.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, but if he can try to, I guess, move his scoring abilities a little, just add a couple offensive weapons for Cliff's game, you could play him alongside Miles. Until then, I don't think you'll see those two as much together, as they're just both very similar players. And you don't want to like make the offense too stagnant with those two down low. I don't know.
The one thing I wanted to point out for Baker too, he was on the list of preseason All Big Ten. That's really big for him. It's the first one since 04 with Shields, I believe it was.
That's huge. Ricky Shields. That is a name. I remember watching him play when I was younger.
Right.
3-point shooter. They would kill for his 3-point shooting nowadays. Actually,
Quincy Doobie too.
Yeah, both of them. I feel like Quincy would have fit so well in today's game. It would have been fun to watch. Like the things he was doing, shooting that far beyond the arc. I hate to say it, but my uncle likes to tell me, he's like, he was Steph Curry before Steph Curry. I'm like, all right, calm down. We see Steph.
He was good.
He was good. He was top 15, top 12, something like that.
Kings 15. I think I said.
Yeah,
that sounds right. Around 15.
So yeah, no, this team, tournament bound, I think. Knock on knock on
Like,
wood.
they were tournament bound last year, so
Yeah, I know. I think this is a very good team. I think they're tournament bound. I think they could even make a little bit of noise. I don't see them winning at all. There's some very good teams out there, but I think they're a
hey,
very
if
good team.
they play defense like they do, you never know. And Geo Baker, his late clutch shots, you never know.
That's the cool thing is that I think as much as a factor as people are trying to emphasize that not having people in the rack, not having people at home, it's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt them. I don't think it hurts them that much.
I think Michael, like Shannon, will have his guys ready.
And I think even when it comes to away games, I think defense travels very well. I think that they'll be fine when on the defensive end. Is the scoring going to be stagnant? We don't know yet. Is Gio going to? We need Gio to take that next leap. You need Ron Harper to take that next leap. If Ron Harper takes that next leap, he could be an NBA player. Hate to put the pressure on him, but there's going to be a ton of pressure on these guys this year. Miles needs to take another step up too. Also, he's got to stay out of foul trouble still. I know there's bigs now, but you still have to stay out of foul trouble. And the defense, like I said, the defensive effort between those three guys alone, and then on Montez, who's kind of your lockdown, so to speak.
And Jacob Young is a really good defender also.
Jacob Young is a very good defender. It's going to be a very good team this year. I really think that they're going to make some noise. I don't know how high they'll get in the rankings,
right?
But it's going to be a good team. That's all I can really say.
Yeah, it's like Shannon says too. Sometimes you gotta be lucky. Sometimes you gotta get lucky.
Yeah. So and then add in the new guys. Cliff Hamarui has. I've been saying it over and over and over. I told the board. He has NBA written all over him. He will be in the league in. It's tough if he develops correctly. If he develops correctly, put it like that, he will be in the league in 2 to 3 years. 100% in my mind. Pending, of course, injuries, pending this, pending that. Other than that, Oscar Pomquist, supposedly athletic freak. I've heard rumors, I've heard stories about him dunking crazy bounce with him, apparently.
He could shoot it too.
And on top of that, he could shoot. So yeah, he's a pretty solid overall threat. So he's going to be interesting to watch. I can't wait to watch him. Plus, he's been with the team since January. People forget
that's a good point too. Yep.
Having him with that team, the chemistry he's built already. He's already seen the rack. He knows what it's about. He knows what the team's about. He's been working with them for damn near a year now. So he'll be a good one. I think he's kind of adjusted already, or will be adjusted. The one that has to adjust is Mawat Mag. He's I've been told he's like a 3-and-D type guy. Another guy that can stroke it from 3. So that's huge for the team that struggles from it. Beyond that arc. And then another defensive guy, Pickles. I don't even know what to call it. There's a word for it. I'm so drawing blanks right now, but that's Pickles. It's Pickles' game.
Yeah,
defense rebound. So it's going to be an interesting year. If you have any other thoughts on this team, drop them now.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to have a good season. I hope there's a full season. I think they're going to be good. Like you said, we talked about before, the balance. They play good defense. They're I don't know. I just think they're going to have a good season. I think Akwasi Abel will be missed. I think he was a good addition. He was a good leader last year. He took charges. He played good defense. He obviously made threes. If the team can improve their shooting, they'll be a team to watch out for sure.
Yeah,
and I think they have really high expectations within themselves also.
Yeah. So it's going to be a fun team to watch. We'll see what happens there. What else we got to talk about? You see Diamond Stone got named
Johnson.
Not Diamond Johnson. I'm thinking
I saw your tweet.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Maryland big guy. Diamond Stone, Rutgers freshman point guard, women's freshman point guard. All or top 20 point guard in the country, or whatever. What's it called?
Yeah, without even obviously
Nancy Lever.
playing.
That's incredible that she's that good. I think we kind of knew she was already top 7, top 5 in the country.
Top star, I believe.
Yeah. So I think the women's team is going to be pretty good too. I don't know how good, but I think C-Viv will have them. And same thing with Pikel, same thing with Shano. These are all very good coaches. They will have their players prepared no matter what.
Yep.
I think we talked to them this week, end of this week it was?
I think Friday also.
Friday. So yeah, we'll talk to CViv on Friday. You guys have any questions for her, the players, post them on the board, post them on the free board, the roundtable premium boards. Side note, if you're not subscribed, we have a 30-day trial going on right now. Give it a try. I guarantee you're going to want to keep it past that 30-day mark. Yeah, we got Chris here with a ton of football news, ton of hoops news, covers everything when it comes to Rutgers athletics. Myself, I kind of dabble in recruiting and dabble with the team stuff. We have Alex Gleitman, Ryan Patty doing football recruiting, Damon Sales, who's killing it with hoops recruiting. Speaking of which, signing day this week.
Signing day is Wednesday for basketball.
Yeah, this is I know they only got 2 technically in this class, and there's a solid chance they might roll that third one over again for the third year in a row.
Yeah.
I'm getting tired of the rollovers, but I kind of get it to an extent, especially if the season's not going to count. I know you could probably work the numbers afterwards and all that, but you got Jalen Miller, who's a very solid point guard out of Maryland, DC area, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything crazy special, but his tape looks pretty solid. Nothing nuts. But the prize of this class is that Jaden Jones kid. He is phenomenal. He looked really good. I saw clips of the Wooten camp, which is like the top 150 prospects in the country. He dominated some of the top ones on the defensive end, actually. So he locked down, I forget which exact number of recruits they were, but they were both 2 recruits in the top 100, and I was reading about it. He locked them both down. He can score at will.
He's
going to be a threat.
He's a smooth shooter to me.
It's going to be interesting to watch how much of an impact he has year one coming into Rutgers. So we know what this team is. There's going to be it depends who comes back, I guess, also.
That's true.
There might be a log jam at that little 3 spot next year.
It's kind of hard to project at this point right now.
Exactly. Yeah, so we know Caleb's back next year because he's going to come back from injury. So put Caleb there, even at the 2, I guess. You could put Caleb at the 3, 2, 4. You can move him around.
Right.
It's going to be Caleb and Jaden Jones with those that 6'6", 6'7" build type. You're going to have Oscar kind of tweening between that 3-4 role. You're going to have Mawat Mag tweening between the 2-3-4 role. There's going to be
4 or 5.
Reaver's a 4 or 5. He's I think he's 6'10", 6'9", something like that. But it's going to be interesting to see how he fits, and if he's as good as they say, and the G League's actually trying to look at him, I can't see you keeping him off the court. So this team has a lot of potential.
Maybe next year, maybe you'll have Paul McKay at point guard too. Maybe
who knows?
Maybe, I don't know about Young or Gio or who knows.
Or what their plans are. No one knows. I'm sure they don't even know. They're so far off.
I doubt they're thinking about it,
No, they're so far off. They're focused on this season. I'm sure Pico has them focused on this season, of course.
No doubt.
What else we got to talk about?
I wonder, last year Pico always, mentioned, we were picked 12th in league. I don't know what his mantra is gonna be this year.
I mean, we were picked 4th.
We were picked 24th. Come on. Should have been higher.
Jeez, it's gonna be interesting. You got to do something to motivate him, but I mean, he'll motivate him. I'm not concerned about that, really. Other than that, what else we have to talk about? We nothing really new recruiting wise. New commit recently in I'm drawing a blank again.
2022.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. I'm drawing a complete blank. I gotta pull it up real quick. They have Rashad Rochelle, Addison Copeland. Who's the new guy? Oh, Giovanni Bermudez.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Craig. Yeah, electric kid. Really, he's going to fit into this offense perfectly.
How does he compare to Bo? Do you know?
To
Bo Melton?
I would say he's a little bit of a smaller receiver. He plays everything for them. He kind of Cedar Creek, when they produce an athlete like that, they kind of have him play multiple positions. He's played DB for them. He's played wide receiver. He's played running back. I think he's even played like that wildcat quarterback type thing that Bo also did down there. New head coach down there, Jason Melody. Very good coach, actually, from former Union high school assistant. So he's familiar with how to use these guys. He's done it with Desmond Igbinosun.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try it.
These names are crazy sometimes. I can't. I try my best.
Yeah.
He's done it with Amir Robinson. He actually compared his motor Giovanni Bermudez's motor, 2 Igbinason, 2 Amir Robinson, 2 even Mike Tverdov. Said these guys don't quit. They want to perfect their game as much as possible. So seems like a very good kid, and speedy. You want to add as much speed as possible. He kind of slightly reminds me, speedy wise, of Al Shadi Salam out of East Orange. So East Orange, yeah, East Orange.
Yeah, East Orange.
Yeah. I'm horrible with these schools. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what he brings to the table. And other than that, I think that's pretty much all the news we got. Preparing for Illinois, we'll have a bunch of Illinois stuff already. I think we got the press conference up. We have the PFF grades from Illinois coming up. Oh, speaking of which, we got to talk about your P-Way guy. No Lumore this week.
Yeah, like you said. I didn't realize that. It was a good thing you point out.
Yeah, starter on the defense, or on the depth chart, I should say. But didn't appear on the team. It didn't appear in any snaps. I don't know if he traveled or not. I'll have to double check on that one. But it's intriguing. CJ Onyechi didn't do bad per the grades. Per the stats, he did pretty solid. I think he got a little bit of pressure, nothing crazy. But yeah, I think that's. You got any other thoughts?
I want to ask Shiano more on Thursday about the secondary. So I'll have something coming with that. I have an article coming today. I'm gonna write it up once we get off this. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, that secondary was not pretty. It's not great, but that's what happens when you go against 2 NFL wide receivers, NFL offensive line, top 5 pick quarterback next year probably.
Oh, no doubt.
Giants, please. Yeah. Thank you.
You gotta fix the line first before everything.
They didn't look bad this week. They looked pretty solid against. I know it's Washington, but Chase Young got held in check a little bit.
Yeah. So hey, all Daniel Jones has to do is play Washington every game, and he'll be. I know. 1-0 every week.
That and don't turn over the ball ever. But hold on, we got a phone call right there. I don't know if you could hear that. That was pretty loud.
A little bit.
But yeah. But all right, guys. That's all I got for today. Chris, talk to you soon. I'm sure we'll do another video in the next week or so. And signing off.
Sounds good, guys. Have a good one.